Our African American Heritage Initiative Council is now in order, and we will have our roll call.
Okay, hi everyone. Vice Chair Penn?
Yes.
Ms. Dart?
Present.
Mr. Fulton?
Here.
Ms. Johnson? I think she's going to be joining us shortly. Mr. Scales? Ms. Williams? And Ms. Wilson?
Present.
All right, our first item on our agenda is to the approval of our February 2021 meeting. Can we get a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes as presented of our February 2021 meeting.
I'll second it.
All right, the motion for our minutes have been approved. And
so you've received the proper second, and so now it is time for your roll call vote.
Okay. Our February meeting has been approved and appropriately second. So now we will have a roll call vote. We'll have Ms. Darr.
Approve.
Ms. Annette Wilson.
Yes.
I can't see the others. Hold on a second. Mr. Fulton.
Yes.
And Jane, yes. Aye. Is that everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to move to the third thing on our agenda. I'm sorry. I think we have the chairperson's update. Is that next?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And that's Ms.
And
who's going to do that?
I can help you, Ms. Jane, with that. The one thing was the status of vacancies for item A. And with respect to the status of vacancies, I know that Ms. Linda sent a name of someone who's interested in joining the AAHI. And also, I think there might have been a couple of other names that Councilmember Scipio has shared with the mayor's office as well. So, Ms. Linda, I didn't know if you want to speak on that at all.
I can very briefly. Dr. English Bradshaw is someone who I have worked with off and on over the years in terms of historical preservation. He is, I guess you could say, an expert on the Memorial Industrial School, and he would like to be a member of AAHI. I did send you and Ms. Scipio his email, and so I hope that one of you will reach out to him. But he is very interested, and I think he would be very good, you know, in terms of the historical perspective.
So, new member coming aboard.
Well, I know that he has to go through the approval from, I guess, the city council, and he's got to sign the forms just like we did, but he is very interested. So hopefully that can be done fairly quickly.
All right, any more discussion on A? If not, we'll move on to the virtual AAHI discussion.
And yes, and thank you, Ms. Jane, I can help you with that too. And before we move on, I think that you may have had someone else to join the meeting since you started. Didn't know if that should be noted as for the minutes. I don't know if you can see or not.
I can't. I'm on my phone today.
Jane, it was me, Donald Scales.
Right.
Oh, all right. Hi, Mr. Scales.
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Great, doing great.
Well, you said you were going to try to make it today.
I did.
Did you park that bus?
I did.
All right. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Scales. We wanted to make sure we had you officially noted for the minutes. And as a matter of so thank you. So moving on with the orientation, we do have Mr. Frank Elliott with us today from the city's Marketing and Communications Department. And Mr. Elliott, would you mind sort of going over what has already been shared with the AAHI via email in terms of the outline for the virtual orientation?
I don't mind at all. I'm not going to waste everyone's time since this went out to everyone ahead of time. I won't go through the whole thing. Just want to reiterate that the idea is it's a page that you would access from the main AAHI page on our website for the virtual orientation. It would be a combination of videos and PowerPoint PDFs. The idea is that we're not going to try to make people sit through a 40-minute video and do this very linearly. We're going to give them, put all these as separate links, and they can go back to them as they need to, as they want to refresh their memory about certain things when they want to, but also because we know in marketing that people will not sit through a long video anymore. There is no patience for that. And if you think about your own experiences, if you watch stuff on YouTube, you've probably clicked out of stuff before you got to the end. And that happens to us all the time. We have the statistics on our videos that we post on our social media pages, and it's pretty dismaying, but I think we need to keep that in mind in how we structure that. So we have this as a series of discrete videos. The videos themselves would essentially be narrated PowerPoints. If we have committee members who want to participate in the orientation by being the voice of a particular PowerPoint, we can certainly accommodate that. We can, if you really feel strongly about it, we can put you on screen for for 30 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever, welcoming people before we flip to the PowerPoint. We've got a lot of flexibility there. But also we want to put the PDF on as well as the video, because some people don't want to sit through a video. They would just rather, click through the PowerPoint and get to the point. No pun intended. So that's the approach we're going to take. You have the outline in terms of the content, and we welcome your thoughts if we're forgetting something. You think we've left something out that's important. Wanda, is there anything else you wanted me to cover?
I don't think so, Frank. I think you hit the main things. I mean, the main thing is to make sure that everyone on the AAHI has a general feel for the way this would work. Like you said, with the PowerPoints and things being pre-recorded in separate links so that people could access what they needed at the leisure. So that was the biggest thing. And I didn't know if anyone may have questions.
I did not have a question. This is Linda. But I was glad to see that it was fairly short. And I didn't realize there were going to be videos or PDFs where you could click in and out. I think that's great too. I just had one correction. I think you mentioned Mike Wakefield. I think you mean Mike Wakeford. Were you referring to Mike at Muse? It's Wakeford, F-O-R-D. Yeah, Wakeford, F-O-R-D.
Thank you. Yes, that is what we're thinking of.
That was the only thing I saw. Everything else looked good.
And I thought it looked very good as well. I didn't have the understanding until he explained exactly how it would work, but I think that will that will work because, as you said, people's attention spans are shorter. And so the ability to go back and forth and not have to do it at one time, I think will be appealing to a lot of people. So thank you very much.
Did we have a date for this yet? I may have forgotten if we do.
That is exactly what I was about to mention, Ms. Linda. You read my mind. I don't know if we need to discuss a timeline at this point. And then once we've discussed the timeline, then I would recommend that you all go ahead and vote to approve the outline, and then we can just go ahead and plug in. So was there?
When you say timeline, are you asking us to set like when we want it finalized by, or to start, or, and we'll, you know, I think we would have to lean on what will work for the staff's schedule in terms of getting all these things done. But it would be good if we could have it, you know, I guess by May.
I think by May is realistic. If you wanted it by the end of March, I'd say that's probably not realistic. This is a fairly heavy lift in terms of the sheer amount of things we have to create.
Do we want to make a motion?
Early May? I'm sorry, Ms.
No, I was just saying, did we want to make a motion for May?
The only thing I'm thinking is we want to avoid big dates. So May, there's Mother's Day. There are graduations. I don't know how that's going to play out virtually. And then, of course, the big one is Memorial Day. So you want to avoid those. So I would even say maybe the first week of June would be good. But, you know, we could do May or June, but you definitely don't want to conflict with anything else.
That makes sense.
First week of June, you may be running, you know, the school's probably getting ready for graduation and that type of thing. So
would that be the first week, Mr. Fulton, or maybe?
Well, they start around probably 8th or 9th, because I think school get out on the 8th or 9th of June.
Okay.
And they start having graduations.
So it would have to be before June the 8th.
Well, I would, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Could we maybe coincide it with Juneteenth and play off on that? You know, so maybe the week before, you know, just that this is a good time, or and maybe see if we can be included, you know, featured some kind of way around that time period.
That's a great idea. And I think it's the 18th through the 20th for Juneteenth, I think.
So then I would recommend at this point that someone make a motion to accept the description of the virtual orientation, and with the timeline of launching the virtual orientation to coincide with Juneteenth.
I make a motion that we accept the proposed outline and that our timeline be that we launch this near the celebration of Juneteenth.
Second.
Okay.
All right, a motion has been put on the floor and properly, do we have a second?
Second.
Properly second. That our launching will coincide with Juneteenth in June 18th through the 20th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Then we can do a roll call. Ms. Dark?
Aye.
Ms. Williams? Annette?
Aye.
Mr. Scales?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Jane Penn, aye. So a motion has been put on the floor to and approve that we make an outline, our timeline for launching our orientation will coincide with Juneteenth, which would be June 18th through 20th.
And I think that's it for the section 4 chairperson's updates.
All right. Sixth on our agenda is the director's update.
Ms. Jane, we skipped the committee updates. I don't know if anyone might have had anything that they wanted to say for one of the committee updates or anything like that.
I actually don't have an update except to say, as far as the oral history committee goes, it's been very difficult. We've actually had people, I've actually had a person to actually decline. So that's going very slowly. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if people are focused on COVID or they're shy. You know, I don't know what the reasons are, but we actually had some set up and then the people declined. So it's going very slowly. And at this moment, I'm not sure how we can encourage folks to participate. Maybe we need to wait until our launch. And then, although, Ms. Wanda, I did look at the Excel sheet that you sent out of people who wanted to do something. I guess I could go back to them. I didn't ask them for their oral histories. I asked them, to work on the committee. But I could try to do that again. It might be best just to wait until the launch and then try to get people.
Okay. And I understand that, Ms. Linda. That makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
Still be a little hesitant because things are so much up in the air. People are still trying to figure out vaccinations. They have a lot of distractions right now.
Right. That's right.
So that very well could be the case. Hoping that, yes, that the launch will help, that once people kind of get a better understanding of what's being asked. But one thing I know that you all discussed in the past was the possibility of this particular group maybe setting the example by going ahead and submitting information as an example to others. Like if you have oral histories that pertain to your families, that perhaps you could go ahead and provide those. And if you have documents or pictures and information pertaining to your own personal knowledge or experiences, maybe that information can go ahead and be uploaded and shared in some capacity. And that way it's kind of leading by example, and maybe others will say, oh, well, she did it or he did it, and I have information too. So maybe that would help a little bit with some people. I don't know.
So Ms. Wanda and Frank, the only question I have is, so if we did submit something, because I am going to submit one for one of my subcommittee members, but we were told you can only do 13 to 14 minutes and record it and then send it to you. So once that is in and on the website, on the database, can anyone click in and view that? Yes.
That is my understanding.
Okay.
I didn't think we had our retrieval function set up yet for people to access whatever's turned in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what, Frank, that's true. We're still in submission phase. You're right.
Okay. All right.
I know we have Jackie on the call from IS, but I don't think we are in the retrieval phase yet, Frank. You're right, I think. Jackie, does that sound right?
That is correct. We're working towards that, but we're not there yet.
Because I was thinking if we did use ourselves as examples, it would be nice if somebody could see part of it, not the whole thing, a clip, something.
So Ms. Dark, this is perfect timing, because one of the things that we talked about with the virtual orientation was some samples, and Sounds like you've just raised your hand to be our.
Okay. Okay.
But let me, I did want to make one other point in all seriousness. With these oral histories, since we are limited with length of time, it might be good for the person taking the oral history to organize the questions such that they could almost be discrete little videos. So tell me about this particular aspect.
Right.
It is one video. And then, you might have 5 for one person because they had a lot to say. And we can't upload an hour-long video, but we could upload 5, 10-minute videos.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was talking to one of my teacher friends, and she was she's done a lot. So I told her, we could make maybe a couple of short videos, maybe 7 minutes, 2 7 minutes, or maybe even 3. I like that idea, and that's what I talked to her today about, just doing some short videos.
Okay.
And Linda, could you share with us the questions that you generally use that maybe we could do our own just as a guideline for us?
I can do that, but when we kind of changed in midstream, when I will send you that,
Okay.
but we also thought about just changing when I realized we could record it on Zoom and just say to the person after an introduction, I would introduce them or somebody else would introduce them, and then just say to them, please tell us about,
Right.
like with you, please tell us about the 1971 Atkins High School class.
Okay.
And then let you go for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I think that will be a little bit more productive rather than, well, where did you go to high school? What did you do after, I think it'll be better to do it that way, but I will send you the questions.
Yeah, because I know we all have stories to tell, but it's kind of just like, where do we get started?
Right.
So those questions might just help us. But
Okay.
And can some of them be like a group interaction, or should we be focusing on single oral histories?
Well, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Mm-mm.
I'm thinking since we can record it on Zoom, you could have more than one person. Is that correct, Frank?
As long as it's set up, yes, I believe that's correct. Mr. Bell is our expert. Larry?
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Then we'll move to our next item on our agenda, number 6, Director's Update by Ms. Wanda. A would be AAHI Inquiries Update, and B, Winston-Salem Foundation Partnership, proposed partnership.
Thank you, Ms. Jane. With respect to the inbox and public inquiries update, we have not received any other inquiries through that inbox. And again, I try every meeting to remind you all that that does exist. So if people do have questions, they have a way to email staff directly, from the public if they have questions about anything pertaining to the AAHI. So right now we don't have any new updates. With respect to the foundation's proposed partnership, just as a reminder, Mr. Charlie Gardner from the Winston-Salem Foundation did express that the foundation was interested in working with the AAHI on the redlining exhibition they have planned for the fall. And so, Ms. Linda, I was going to ask you if you've heard anything else about that, because I haven't. I did email Mr. Gardner, but I haven't heard back yet.
Actually, I am kind of working with them as a, not a go-between, but, someone who can connect them to various groups. And so at some point, I will send emails out to, I've talked with about 7 different groups, and there's a wonderful, they have a website, but they're not the foundation, but the designers who are actually working with the exhibition in New York. They have a wonderful website, and these exhibitions are taking place in several cities, Dallas, Cleveland, Chicago, New Orleans. And you can go onto the website. I will send the link. You can go onto the website and look at, say, what happened in New Orleans. And it just blows your mind. It's really a great, great exhibit. So at some point, I will get the 7 or 8 organizations together on Zoom to talk about how each organization can contribute, what you would like to see done, what you would like to see a focus on. And we have to also discuss themes, Highway 52, the union strike, whatever historical event you think is very, very important, anything from Winston-Salem State, you know. So we will get together at some point. I don't have dates for that right now because it's in the very, very early planning stages. But and in that, I'll be talking to you about Goler. So we just want to make sure that we're getting everything that the community wants in this exhibit, because it's really a very important exhibit. And thank goodness we have a lot of time to work on it. It won't be until like the end of the year. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing, because that's going to be after the orientation.
Right. Well, after the orientation.
Well, after the orientation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's another thing we can do. We can play off each other. So at the orientation, it probably would be a good idea to talk about that as well. And then when we have these individual Zoom meetings of 7 or 8 organizations at once, we can talk about AAHI. So it's a very good fit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So really, the reason I wanted to bring that up is just to make sure that everyone was clear on that. I know that it's been discussed at previous AAHI meetings, but I didn't know if anyone on today's call may have any questions about the redlining exhibit or anything like that. If I'm not mistaken, you all already voted to work with the foundation. If I'm not mistaken, you voted on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And if we need to bring back Mr. Gardner, if anyone would like that, that would be a possibility too, hopefully, if you had any questions of him.
And my understanding is he is back at work now.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Good. But just wanted to keep everyone in the loop, make sure everybody understood what was going on with that proposal from them. And again, yes, there's time. But that was just an update under my my updates. So that's it for me, Ms. Jane.
All right, well, moving on. The AAHI marketing update, AAHI IS updates.
Okay, I was going to defer to Mr. Frank Elliott for anything he may want to update you all on. I know he's already talked about the virtual orientation, but Frank, did you have anything else?
I really did not. At this point, we'll just get to work on cranking out the orientation. Obviously, as it gets close to being ready to go, we'll be preparing some ways of getting the word out about it. And of course, you know, we stand by ready to help promote whatever other things that the committee does in the way of the redlining exhibit or anything else when the time comes.
Okay, thank you so much. And in terms of the IS updates, Ms. Jane, I wanted to defer to Jackie. She's on the call. And Jackie, did you want to take the opportunity to update everyone on our recent meeting?
I can, yes.
Okay.
I wanted to start by saying we've had now 10 submissions to our current online form, and we know that one is limited. So we started also reaching out for another potential partner for Digital North Carolina, so Digital NC, and you can go to their website, but they're funded by the library system, and basically they already have a infrastructure set up for online digital libraries and digital archives. So we are exploring the possibility of using them as our online access point for the community to access our files and documents that we gather. We did find out they can hold a variety of different formats. They can do audio, visual, photographs, of course, anything that you pretty much want to put in there, you can add to their website. They do the scanning, they can do scanning on site, and they can take files and formats digitally as well. So we're just touching base with them and getting started with them. So we're very, very early preliminary and just talking early with them, but there's a possibility of partnering with them. We just have to work out the logistics of that. Did you have anything else to say, Wanda, on that?
Jackie, I did not, but I thank you for that update. I just wanted to turn it over to the committee to see if they may have any questions based on what you just shared. Because it does sound promising. It sounds like it will really help AAHI out a lot because they already have so many resources and they have equipment and partnerships and all kinds of things already in place. And so it should be a very, very big boost to what it is that you all are trying to do.
They also have a lot of partners that they already use, and they have a lot of experience. So they can help us and help guide us on what works and what doesn't work as far as gathering different types of history and trying to figure out as we navigate through this path, what the best path is and what the best direction for some of our questions is. Another thing that was really nice is we keep talking about wanting to have like a central location for all of the information. They kind of already are that. I think they house, or they have a connection to Digital Forsyth, as well as the Winston-Salem African American Archives is also got a link through their website as well. So this would be a good place for people to go and gather information from multiple sources on different topics in their historical backgrounds.
Absolutely, absolutely. So does anyone have any questions?
Sounds good.
What's everybody else think? Linda,
That sounds promising, yeah.
Okay.
I like.
Okay, awesome. So as internal staff, we will continue to move forward in pursuing what a partnership would look like and what would be necessary with them so we can help to move the committee forward with reaching out to the community and actually getting those uploads and submissions potentially and anything else that they can offer for support. So we will continue to work internally on that.
All right. We're going to move on. We're on the 8th timetable and calendars, meeting reminders and other action items.
Yes, Ms. Jane, the next scheduled standing meeting for the AAHI is on Wednesday, April 7th. Just as a reminder to anyone who's watching too, the AAHI meets on the first Wednesday of every month, and we'll continue to meet virtually for the foreseeable future. And the meeting time is at 2 o'clock on the first Wednesday of each month.
All right. And be other action items.
Ms. Wanda, does Mississippi need anything else from me in terms of getting Dr. Bradshaw on the committee?
What I would suggest, Ms. Linda, is that you just circle back with her.
Okay.
You want that name, if you want Dr. Bradshaw to be considered as a part of the new round of recommendations for the 2 vacant seats.
Okay,
I would highly recommend that you circle back with her.
okay.
She is working with the mayor's office already on trying to make sure those seats get filled, but I'm not sure about the timeline and all of that. She's
Okay.
been working on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Wanda, I was asked to call several members who had not been to our meetings. And of course, Mr. Scales, he's here and told me that he drives a bus and he would be here if possible, and he's here. However, I talked to 2 other ladies. I don't have my paper in front of me. But one lady I could not get. I called and left a message for her twice. And I think Ms. Shirley, I said that it was a conflict of interest for her, but she would be willing to help any way that we would like to, even though she couldn't be a part of the council.
Okay. Thanks so much, Ms. Jane, for the update. Would you mind, when you locate the names, emailing that to me?
Okay.
That way.
I have them in my notebook. I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Are there any more discussions? If not, is that all, Ms. Wanda? You need to say anything else?
That's all from the staff side.
All right. Well, then we'll get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It has a motion to adjourn has been a motion has been made and properly second that we adjourn. Have a great day.
You need your roll call vote, Ms. Jane.
Oh, I got a roll call to get us out. All right, Ms. Dark.
Aye.
Ms. Annette Williams.
It's Wilson, but I.
Oh, you know what, Miss Wilson, forgive me. No wonder you didn't answer me.
That's okay.
And I said, we got 2 Williams. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. I should have had my, I'm going to have my notebook out the next time. Ms. Annette Wilson, thank you for understanding. Mr. Donald Scales.
He's on mute.
Okay.
Mr. Scales, you're on mute.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
Aye.
And Jane Penn, aye. So a motion to adjourn has been made and properly second. And I guess that's it. Is that?
That's it.
All right. All right. Thank you and have a great day.
All right.